We'll start off with a simple pencil drawing before we put in the colors. There's not much that I need to draw with a pencil for this particular subject. I just need to mark where the horizon line is, where the distant hills are, and where the cows would be, and of course the trees, and especially where the gaps between the trees would be. That's something that I need to note down. So that's all that I need to draw. I'm fully wetting the paper with a wet brush and with lots of water, because this particular subject is like full of soft edges. Sometimes in my demos you would have seen that I just spray some water and get started, and sometimes I don't do anything, I just start painting. So it depends on the subject. This particular subject I feel is like has a lot of wet on wet edges, so I want the edges to be very soft, so that's why I'm like putting a lot of water. The blue color is spreading nicely and giving that very soft edge that I wanted on the wet paper. And now I have mixed this gray, which I will put into the clouds. So clouds are like three-dimensional shapes. They are not like flat shapes. And if you look carefully, usually the bottom of the clouds are much darker than the top. So by adding this gray, I'm able to kind of get that three-dimensional feel into the clouds. I'm using a bit of raw sienna, and I'm like reducing the saturation of it by adding a bit of blue and a bit of grays and stuff. If you look at the reference photo, the dry grass is pretty warm, but I have like reduced the saturation of it because I don't want it to compete with the cows. The cows are going to be painted in a warm color as well, probably something like burnt sienna, kind of an orangish brown. So if the grass is like warm yellow and the cows are like orange, the cows won't be that prominent in the painting. So because of that, I have like reduced the saturation of the grass a lot. I'm putting a bit of burnt sienna for the cows, and the color is spreading into the background grass that I have put, because at this point I'm not really worried about getting the shape of the cows correctly. I just want the color to be represented correctly. I'm painting the trees in a similar manner to how I painted the cows. So I'll drop in the green on the wet paper and let it spread, and once it's dry, not dry even, when the paper is almost dry and kind of moist, I can drop in the darker parts of the green and better define the shape of the trees. I just need to clean up the edge of this cow a bit. Even though I wanted a soft edge, this has like spread too much, so you can't really control how much it spreads. So with experience you get an idea, kind of an idea of how much it'll spread, but sometimes you have to go back and like correct things a bit. You probably would have noticed that when I was painting the sky, I put in the same blue into where the distant hills would be. Now when I put in the green on top of that blue, it's kind of giving an illusion of distance. The foreground in the reference photo is like very complex, so I for a moment thought of leaving that out completely and kind of have a very flat foreground, but later I decided to like kind of have it, but wet on wet with a very pale wash so that it is not that prominent. the underlying wash of the tree is like moist in few places and dry in the other places. So when I put in this dark, it's kind of giving me a mix of hard edges, those dry brush strokes, and soft edges. So it's kind of giving me an illusion of where there are gaps between the branches and where the branches and leaves are dense. I'm putting in the darker bits of the cow where it's not catching the light. This needs to be a bit more accurate compared to the burnt sienna that we put in earlier. And I'll also paint one cow in black so that I can get the nice edge on the other cow. I'm in the latter stage of the painting now where I put in a few dark bits just to connect a few things, refine a few things, and ensure that the composition and the focal area looks good. I hope you enjoyed this demo. It's a somewhat complex painting which involved a lot of soft edges and which required that control of the moisture of the paper a lot, and I'm quite pleased with my effort here. I really like how the cows read very well as a group of cows, and I'm also like quite happy with the trees. I was a bit worried whether I'll be able to capture those gaps in between the trees, but I'm happy with how it has turned out. Only thing I'm a bit not so satisfied with is the background distance. It has got a bit too dark for my liking, and it's competing with the trees. So that's something that I could have done a bit more carefully. So just give it a go and see how it turns out, and as always, enjoy the painting. The outcome doesn't really matter. So hope to see you in another video, and please do subscribe to my channel, and see you soon.